Gabriella Fox.
Yeah! Hey y'all, how you doing tonight? Okay, come on, you can do a little better than that. How are you doing tonight? Right? It's Saturday, you're at a coffee shop in the middle of Los Angeles. Pumped? Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, that is true. Gabriella Fox is a name that I was born with, but unfortunately a very small Latin girl who likes to play with whips and misses her daddy decided to change her name to that and star in a porn that is, I guess, known as the most expensive porn ever made. It's the Pirates of the Caribbean porn. So she is now proved to be the bane of my IMDb existence. And I mean, it only gets, it's one of those things where she's well known enough as a porn star that when I get people who call me, like other people trying to sell me shit over the phone or whatever, you know, they see the name on the list and they're just like, hey girl, how you doing? Some confirmation on block. I'm just trying to see if you want to do your taxes this year. What you do for a living? I'm like, hi, can you please put me on your block list and don't call me again, asshole? Thank you for that. I'm going to go take a bath now because I just heard you heavy breathe at me for about 30 seconds. Thank you. But yeah, I am dating. I choose not to use a, not to echo every comic you've probably ever seen to go, I'm dating. No, but I'm dating. I don't want to say it's going good, but it's going. It's doing some things. I am not a big fan of, I've had so many of my friends be like, hey, you should join Tinder. That's how people meet people now. That's the thing. That's what they do. Let's just join Tinder. I feel like maybe I've been misinformed because last I checked, unless you had 6 figures in your bank account and the tattoo of like a hound dog on your arm or something somewhere, you weren't allowed to like take someone out based off of a photograph and then ruin their night. Hashtag just that hostel life. Yeah, that's really kind of not my style. Call me like an old-fashioned romantic, but I like to think that I can like actually speak to someone in public and enjoy them and then maybe see them afterwards, and that's how we date. But I'm also probably wrong. I'm probably wrong because the last person that I dated was another stand-up. And let me tell you something about that profession. Stand-up comedy is the only job you can have where you can get your girl and she can be sitting in the crowd, maybe she's with her friends, maybe she's with her family or co-workers, and you can saunter your stupid little ass up on stage and you can get behind a microphone and essentially stand on a soapbox and go into painful, excruciating detail of everything about that person that ever bothered you, that you can't tell them to their face, and get on stage and say some things. Like, nah, it's cool, like I'm sitting in this room with my dad, and then you get up and go, hey, you ever dated that girl that won't do anal? What the fuck is up with that? My dad's like sitting in the back of the room going, right at me, and I'm like, hey daddy, whatever, I'm not, no, let's not talk about her. Just like, you ever date that bitch? She real ugly when she cries. What? Why did you even say that? Why did you even say that? What was that for? What did I do to you? Like, I'm sitting here and there's a bunch of people that don't know me and they're just like, ah. No, it's not funny. I'm sitting here in the front row with this look. Real uncomfortable. But obviously I'm not any better than that person is because here I am standing up here doing a joke about their stupid ass. See you back there, baby boy. But yeah, so I mean, but it's hard. I don't really know what the, how to do the normal person dating thing. I'm one of these like very rare people that has been in a long-term relationship before. And you know what? California law. I just found out if you're with somebody for 8 years, you're already considered by the law married. I was with somebody for 10 and the only thing I got out of that shit was the extra cat litter and a hoodie. So you know what? Yeah, walking away from that, you don't know how people work anymore. I don't really know the difference between like what is a normal person thing to do versus what is a whack-ass thing to do. Like, dudes will do shit and I'm like, maybe that's just how they work. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just who they are. You know, maybe, you know, you'll say something to me on a first date and I'm like, oh, maybe you're just a sharer. You know, you're sharing with me. I mean, I guess I can listen. I'm going to share my body with you later, hopefully. Whatever. It's not that it ever, like, has this, I give way too many passes where there should be, like, a bell that goes off where I'm like, no, that's actually just batshit insane. That's not spontaneity. That's not cute. That is just batshit insanity. I mean, for a good example, I don't know how any of you would take this, but I was dating a dude, and I went to one of his shows, and the first thing he did was say, hey, do you want to go to a party afterwards? I'm like, I have a work-related party, I can't go, this and that. It's like, that's cool. He gives me a high five and a hug. I'm like, all right, word, whatever, let's see where this goes. During the course of the entire show, he high-fived me maybe about 9 times and hugged me about 8 times, and then repeated the same information that was irrelevant to me about the party that I could not go to, and asked me over and over again to go. It was to the point that I was walking down the street with friends, and after we'd gotten 2 blocks away, it was like he had a delayed reaction, ran after me, hugged me 5 more times. I'm like, do you want to kiss? What are we doing? What's happening right now? And eventually he repeated the information about the party again. I'm like, look, as long as you don't high-five me one more time, I'm down. It's fine. We'll go to this party. I go to the party, and I start talking to a male coworker of mine, which apparently was grounds for someone to spontaneously and without warning or reason burst into tears. So now I'm stuck being the girl that walks into the party with business people, and I have the dude that's crying. Yeah, like I do. You know, and I started thinking about it as I'm talking to my friend going, what's up with your dude over there? And to be honest with you, the only time I can think of where someone is allowed to burst into tears without explanation, hug me 9 or 10 times, and then high-five me twice as many times as that, is a game I played as a child called The Sims. Like, this dude was about 30 seconds from getting stuck behind a plate on the floor and pissing himself. I don't really know what was going on with him. Part of me wanted to just walk up and go, hey, baby boy, you know what? By Sim standards, we're like already married. You've talked about dollar signs and all kinds of other stuff for so long that, I mean, like, I would take you home with me, but unfortunately an act of God has deleted my front door and replaced it with the painting of a sad clown. I don't know where we go from here. That date ended with that person running off into the night and never coming back. I still don't know why. I wasn't even talking to them. Yeah. Los Angeles is not known for good dates, I don't feel like. Does anyone else here feel like they've gone on enough excruciatingly bad dates in this city that you kind of get to the point where it's like, maybe I should just stay home and masturbate? Or what is really, I mean, and this, maybe it's my ignorance from not being in the dating scene for so long, but I just didn't have to deal with this shit until now. I would say if my personal life could be half as good as my professional life, I'd be alright. And I mean, on that note, how many of you guys have had awful, shitty Hollywood jobs? Living in LA where, like, you know, maybe you live somewhere else, you're like, oh, that's the dream, if I work on that show, like, I've made it, and then you know, you get with that company, maybe it's Disney, or as I like to call them, Mauschwitz, and they don't pay you shit, and they don't do shit for you, and you're stuck behind a desk going, why did I ever want this? Well, luckily I'm not in that position anymore. I just got a new personal assistant. And he is a special swaggy little peanut. Yes, he is. He is my height. He's about 5'5", little Indian dude. And to be honest with you, he kind of talks like this. I mean, he doesn't know who Aziz Ansari is or nothing, but he just talks like this, and maybe it's not intentional. I don't know. This is how I talk. No, what's Parks and Rec? I've never seen that show. I'm just unmotivated and like to hit on all the women that walk in here. Don't worry about it. This dude has been hired for maybe 2 days. 2. One of the best things that he did, that I ain't even mad though, really, is I'm sitting at my desk and my boyfriend comes to drop off lunch. That's what he was gonna do. Now my boyfriend is a little special in and of himself, like you kinda have to warn him with new people interaction. He's a little bit different. So he doesn't realize my personal assistant has changed and comes in and sees a new person sitting at the desk before my desk and I'm busy with something. So he kind of looks at him. Like throws the lunch bag at this dude, who then, which I mean I probably would have reacted the same way, but just, okay. And immediately runs into the adjacent bathroom. Now the new assistant, Vin, doesn't realize yet that that bathroom wall is pretty thin. So you can hear most of the things that people say on the other side of that wall. So he chooses to turn to me, not knowing who this person is, and go, dude. I don't know where this guy falls on like the autism spectrum scale, but he's definitely not functional enough to be Asperger's even. Like he is all kinds of fucked up. Oh shit. Yeah, I wanted to introduce you to my boyfriend, but I think he just did fine all by yourself. Don't worry about it. His response, that instead of cleaning this up, instead of being like, oh shit, I'm gonna backtrack now, his response to that is, well fuck, is that even legal? Like, can you really like, fuck a downs, dude? Like, can you fuck a retard, is that okay? First of all, I'm not trying to send any messages out tonight, I'm not trying to preach for nobody, but if you leave here knowing nothing, just know this. Autism and mental retardation are two different things. I'm not dating a mentally retarded person. I'd like a shirt that just says, I'm not dating a mentally retarded person. Because sometimes I feel like I do get that look like, and you know, I can see why I would get that look. But I'm not. That's not a thing that I'm doing. So after we go on the back, because I don't know why I humored this dude. I did though. I humored him. We do the back and forth about like, no, he's not retarded. It's fine. I shouldn't be, what, don't hold this against me. I'm an okay person. Should I think I'm not an okay person? I think I'm an okay person. I don't think I'm taking advantage of someone just because they have some issues. I mean, he's cool. He's really smart actually. Like, fuck. Back and forth on this until he eventually gets uncomfortable enough that he goes, look, can I just get you a coffee or something? You want me to just go get you a coffee? I can just get you a coffee. Yeah, fuck, you know what, just go. Just go get me a coffee, get the hell out of my face, like I don't even, why am I talking about this with the assistant I've had for the last 2 days? Why is this a discussion? He goes, well, what kind of coffee do you, I don't care, just go. Just go. It's really more about you leaving here than the coffee you bring back. So about 5 minutes into my work, all of a sudden, he walks up with like, by the way, I have to say this dude has the worst resting bitch face I've ever seen in my life. No woman has a resting bitch face like this caustic, small Indian dude who apparently hates his job but worked very hard to get this position. I don't really know what happened. Comes up and just goes, hey, you didn't specify what kind of coffee you want, so here you go, and drops a big, foamy, nasty-ass frappuccino in front of me and then goes, I know this is what you white girls like. I mean, you didn't tell me. I'm this person's boss. We've been working together for 2 days, and for some reason, they think the appropriate thing to say to their boss after they've already called their boyfriend a retard is to walk up and say, hey, you're white, you probably like this shit. But maybe, once again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't know how people work. Maybe I'm the retarded one that doesn't get it. Maybe this is normal. Maybe this is how people talk to their boss now. Maybe this is a thing. Yeah. Even when it comes down to, I want to say, like, you know what? God bless men, though. There's no societal pressure on me when I see someone I like to walk up to them and say something nice to them at a bar. There really isn't. Not at all. For the most part, with women, all I have to do is find a dress that, doesn't fit me well enough to zip the zipper all the way up, and, go sit at a bar and hope to God that somebody wants to come and talk to me. And that's all I'm pressured to ever do as a lady. But, every once in a while, I like to turn the tables on this shit. I like to see what I can do. I like to walk up and feel like I initiated something. But the thing with pickup lines, it's like, how do I pick a pickup line that is intelligent? It's got to say a lot about yourself, right? Like, do I want to, I want them to know I'm interested in them. I want them to know I'm smart. I want them to know I'm politically aware. I want them to know all kinds of shit about me within 2 sentences. And I'm getting upset because my favorite pickup line that I have perfected is starting to become politically irrelevant. I'm watching it happen, like, fuck Ferguson, all the stuff that happened, god damn it, you're taking up all the news. And you should, it was an awful thing, but you're taking up all the news to the point that people are forgetting the relevance of my favorite pickup line. As a woman, walking up to a dude at a bar and going, hey boy. Do you work corporate at Hobby Lobby? Because when I'm around you, I don't feel like I can control my own body. I mean, if that doesn't say that I am a sensitive, politically aware, I really don't know what does. I mean, it's better than the old school one, which, you just walk right up to them and be like, hey man, I'm feeling sick, can you give me a shot of that penicillin? That weirds people out. That legit weirds people the fuck out. Also, one of the things I did read, only because, once again, researching my boyfriend, is a sign of autism is a person that can't make eye contact for 2 minutes at a time. So I'm like, oh wait, I don't know that I can do that. Maybe I should start doing that now. So if you drop a pickup line like that and then you insist on relentless Rasputin level eye contact for 2 minutes. No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm looking at you, baby boy. Hey. Yeah, it makes people a little bit weird. Just a little bit. Forgive me, I'm old school, don't have the smartphone with, I'm also not professional enough to have my material memorized when I'm drunk. Another thing that maybe might be a sign that it's me with the dating thing, the last person I was with, I don't know about you guys, I'm a big fan of expensive, premeditated pranks. They're the best. I mean, when you nail one of those, like, you fucking nail it. But I also like to be challenged, so we put some rules on this shit. For one thing, a prank goes over a lot better when you basically decide you don't do anything that damages any property, nothing that costs money, and you don't do anything that traumatizes another human being, because those are the 2 lines that if you cross them, you become an actual bad person. And it also makes it a lot harder, because if you can execute a prank based on those rules, it's probably the kind of prank where if that person repeats it to anyone, they only think better of you for it. Perfect example of this was I went through a breakup where I was guilted for, the first 2 months, every single thing. I mean, I paid for the apartment, I paid for the food, I paid for everything this man baby wanted. And it got to the point where it was just, when we broke up, he's like, well, you left me, so can you carry my boxes? I'm so sad. I'm so tired. I don't know if I can, I need help moving. Yes, I'll help you move into your, 250 square foot studio apartment that you found in downtown LA. Yeah, whatever. But after about a month of feeling like you're stuck with that and that's the thing you're being guilted into doing, you kind of snap at a certain point. Now that being said, I'm not saying that if you're drunk and have $500 and no life, you can ruin someone else's. But if you're drunk and you have $500 and no life, you can ruin someone else's. Let me tell you about that shit. What I decided to do is something my friends have dubbed heating. And how you go about executing this is, how many of you guys are familiar with Santee Alley? Downtown, yeah, you can buy like a dildo and a fake Louis Vuitton bag and all kinds of shit down there, and maybe one of those bacon-wrapped hot dogs, you're good. You can also buy a lot of illegal small animals that might contain salmonella. They're around. You might see that one lady, she's like, ay, Dios mío, as I said, the birds. You know, whatever, she's got like all these cages, all these, you know, fucking parakeets she's selling. And if you have $500, what I've learned is $500 is enough to make any one of those ladies give you every single fucking parakeet they have on them. Just like, look, what can I get for this shit? Oh, no, just, oh, no, it's fine, just take it. I'm like, yeah, exactly, I'll just take it. So, if you still have the keys to your ex's apartment, and you have about, let's see, like maybe 350 parakeets and it's only 250 square feet, that's enough parakeets that they won't know what color their walls were when they moved in. They really won't. You just go, walk upstairs, unlock that door, just throw that shit in there, put some bird seed on the ground, lock that door. I get like a text maybe 2.5 hours later, it just says, fuck you. Fuck you. Why? It was just, why? Why did you do that? Why? It's like, I come up to my apartment, the only thing I hear is, I open the door and I just see a flutter of feathers and shit everywhere. Just shit and feathers and things flying back and forth. And I knew it had to do with you. Who else would, yeah, you know what? I don't want to know, I don't care, just whatever, fuck it. And I'm like, well, did you handle the problem? And he said, yeah, it took me 3 hours of running back and forth in the same tiny room going, trying to scare these things out the window. By the way, parrots aren't really coordinated. So what they kind of do is they just get even more afraid and start like raining shit as they fly back and forth and can't find their way out of the very small window that my ex had cracked. Well, a mid-20s man runs back and forth in his small apartment with a broom screaming to himself. And eventually, I guess after hours of that, they did all leave. But by the time they were gone, I just get all these pictures that show up on my phone. Bloop, bloop. It's all pictures of like his guitar covered in shit, his bed is covered in shit. Just these birds have just like lost it just everywhere. All over the place. And the best part of this is, yeah, that was a legitimately, not to be punny, but that was a legitimately shitty thing to do. Real shitty on my part. But, anytime he told any of his friends, yeah, you know this fuck shit my ex did? Tells the story, they go, huh, wait, no, it's not funny, I'm not laughing. Wait, she's your ex now, right? So she's single then, yeah? That's a smart one. She's funny. They don't appreciate that. Like when you just are screaming into a void trying to tell people about this awful thing someone did to you and their only reaction is, you're stupid. People don't like that. Nah. And I'm pretty proud of that. It's like, another example of a similar thing. If you know about a fruit called the durian fruit from South Asia, cut that thing open, smells like ripe ass. Straight up. Nobody ever thinks it's the fruit. You ever want to ruin a dinner party, just leave that shit in like a decorative bowl. People just walk around like, oh. Well, it's yeah, I'm having a great time, it's a good party. Where's that smell? Did you clean the cat box? What happened? They never figure out it's a fruit. It'll stay like that for weeks before they think to clear out the fruit. So on that note, if you have any enemies, feel free to steal any of my jokes for your own personal use. We all need vengeance.